Hi, welcome to Matt's Garage. Today I'm going to be reviewing these Harbor Frieght Black Widow spray guns. I've got both the 1.3 HTE and the 1.7 HVLP. Now I know a lot of you guys are cheap like me and you look at the prices of a high quality Iwata or SATA spray gun, they're like $800 or $900. Now mind you, we'll go ahead and spend $500, $1,000 on a door or an old motor, but when it comes to stuff like this we get weird and we want the cheapest tool that gets us the best thing. So I've been seeing these on the shelves and wondering, are they any good? Well, I'm going to show you two things today. I'm going to compare the spray pattern of these to some other common guns that beginners might buy, and then I'm going to show you the results of a clear coat I shot with these guns. All right, we're going to be comparing four guns, the ANZ HTE, the DeVilbiss FLG Finish Line 4, and the two Harbor Frieght guns. I've got them all with regulators. I've got them all set to 30 PSI, which is what you shoot clear coat at, all wide open with all max paint. I'm going to be shooting acetone through them and showing you the spray pattern of each. What I wanted you to pay attention to is a couple things. The width of the spray pattern and the consistency of it. Is there a lot of contrast between one side and another? In other words, does it seem streaky? So pay attention to that as I'm shooting it. I'm going to shoot them against a black background so you can clearly see the spray pattern. I have my trash can up on the workbench, cleaned off a little bit. And the first one we're going to do is that ANZ. Again. Okay. Notice not that wide of a spray pattern, a little bit of streakiness. The FLG 4. Super narrow. See how narrow that spray pattern was? Okay. Now we're going to do the HVLP from Harbor Frieght, Black Widow. Again, everything to 30 PSI. Look at the monster on that. I mean, it goes through the acetone so much quicker. And here is the 1.3 clear coat gun, Black Widow. A lot of you saw I painted this before with the FLG and I was really unhappy with the results. I was getting a ton of orange peel. Full disclosure, a lot of that is my own skill set, and I'll talk about some of the techniques I did that will help you get a better clear coat paint job. But I just want to show you how this clear came out of the 1.3 Harbor Frieght Black Widow. And just so you know, underneath the primer and the base coat, I shot with the 1.7 HVLP. Now, it is a little dusty and I'm not the best painter, but we're going to take you in and show you straight out of the gun. I mean, you can see the reflection of light in there. There's some trash in the paint, but that's not the fault of the spray gun. I just felt like it laid the right amount of material at the right pace, and it just felt really good, and the results were great. I'm going to share a couple of hard lessons I learned having had to sand this all the way down and reshoot it. There's like four main things, and I'd seen this on other videos, but somehow it just never really connected because I didn't have the experience to navigate what I was doing, right? It's like welding. The first time you see the sparks, you're like, oh, what's happening? But then over time, you're able to actually look at the puddle and understand what the metal's doing. So a distance, pressure, speed, and overlap. The mistakes I was making, I was going too slow with too little overlap. So I was getting a super dry clear coat finish, and you got to basically keep a wet edge. But if you stay close and you go slow, you'll get runs. So you gotta stay close, go fast, and have about a 75 to 80% overlap, way more than you would think. The thing is, when you go fast and you have an overlap, right, it doesn't have time to dry by the time you get back, but it does have time to set up just enough that you can come back at 80% and not get a run. And I was able to do this without I got one small run here, and that was not because of my technique. Well, it was, but it wasn't because I was doing what I was telling you. It was because I kind of got caught up here and paused, and my gun paused and put too much material down. So you kind of got to go through your spray mechanics dry and see if you can get everything. Otherwise, if you get caught up, that's when you really get a run. And also, don't open up the gun on the paint. Start off the paint and bring it into the paint. Because sometimes when you shoot it, it lets out more material, I found. Maybe that's not true, but that's my experience, is it lets out more material in that initial burst. So I have to be honest, I was kind of embarrassed to even admit that I got these, because who wants to admit they got a high-end spray gun from Harbor Frieght? But I think it's an Iwata knockoff, and they did a very good job, as you saw by the spray pattern and the results on the Bronco. If I had to get only one, I would get the 1.3 for your clear coats. This one's good for, I'm actually using this as a base coat or a primer gun. I know you're not supposed to do both, but we all have our limitations. And it's good for that, but on a budget, I would get the 1.3, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. It is a great, great gun. And then in case you're wondering, I've got all my guns, I've got adapters to the DeVilbiss decup system. The Harbor Frieght ones take the number 10. So number 10 DeVilbiss decups adapter fits the Harbor Frieght spray guns, and then that makes everything super easy. The cups that come with it aren't bad, but I just like the decup system. Although everyone's moved to PPS, whatever, I already had it, I'm just sticking with it. I hope you found this informative. I hope you have the confidence to go out and paint with your own spray guns. Yeah, it's just amazing that you can get such a good quality tool for a very reasonable price. See you next time on Matt's Garage.